The Ngozi Cadmus Show presents the bridge between faith, entrepreneurship, and leadership. My name is Ngozi Cadmus, and I'm a mental health and leadership expert. I represent the average woman and equip women of faith to walk in their divine calling, master their thoughts, and love themselves so that they can level up spiritually, mentally, and financially. Welcome to the Ngozi Cadmus Show, episode 20. Not sure of the title yet, but it's going to be something about friendships. If this is your first time, my name is Ngozi Cadmus, and I am a mental health and leadership expert. I'm a qualified psychotherapist, social worker, and business strategist, and I am passionate about all things mental health, all things Black leadership, all things faith-related, and, all things empowering humanity. Hey, like, please, share, please, comment, please, subscribe, please. All of these things help the algorithm, as they say, and it helps my channel grow. And it's free for you. So, I want to talk about friendships. I'm going to use this quote. And I want to know what you guys think. Let's talk about it. Being let down on your B-day is defo grounds for cutting people off. Sorry. From time I did an intimate party and people didn't turn and didn't bother to let me know. People cancelling hours into the party. I realized people can be so mad. So from this, I get her close, I guess we're seeing her close friends, her friend. She had an intimate birthday party and people didn't turn up. Maybe no one turned up, or a few people did, but most didn't. And they just cancelled on a day. And she said that is grounds for cutting people off. So when you get a comment like that, what tends to happen is that people then respond with, oh, but how do you know that people are going through something? Oh, some people are so entitled and so demanding. How do you know people are going, they're going through their own thing? And basically, why are you so demanding and entitled to expect people to even tell you that they're not coming to your birthday? Or why are you so demanding and entitled to think that people are not going through their own stuff so they couldn't come to your birthday? Oh, well, that's not grounds to cut them off. And I personally find that response absolutely weird. You're entitled to your opinion, you are, but that's a very weird opinion. And this is a topic that I am really interested in, and I'm going to bring a brand new, exciting show to your screens. And I'm going to be speaking to strangers. I'm going to actually become a public interviewer. So you're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be literally speaking to people. Similar to this, I'm going to read a statement from, I see online, and I'll give my thoughts like this, and then I'm going to go out onto the streets and ask people their thoughts and opinion. Because I find this fascinating. I've been having numerous conversations with friends over friendships and relationships, really trying to understand, because I'm really interested in this topic. So what's my thoughts? Let me just go straight into this. What's my thoughts in this, right? And let me add another one. So you're going to see this up now. Let me add another one. Okay, this adds to it. Okay, so another person. This is another friendship kind of topic. So I have a friend who I'm really starting to feel like isn't my friend. If I don't reach out to her, I never ever hear from her, like ever. I'm always the one checking in, sending texts, saying happy birthday, holiday greetings. This isn't a friendship, right? So of course, what do you expect? People will come in and say, again, how do you know she's not going through something? I've been that friend. I never had the capacity to deal with that. So someone said, I've been both friends. I wouldn't immediately say that's not a friend, but more evaluate the level of friendship you have with them. Some friends you can literally go years not talking to and things pick right back up. So it's important to remember that everyone is an individual and the way they process things are different. Some people will have a season where they won't talk to people often and then enter a season where they don't want to as much. Just ask them what's up and respect theirs. what I find interesting is that, to me, her post was quite clear. She added more to her post, which I haven't read, but her post to me was quite clear. But people added their interpretation. Right? I felt like her post was really clear. There's a friend she's basically saying that she has a friend where it's not reciprocal, it's not mutual. She is the one that maintains this friendship. If she doesn't check in, if she doesn't make effort, the friend won't make effort to her. I don't, where did season? She's not saying there was a season. She's saying that she's reflected and she realized she has a friend who is starting to feel like not a friend. If she does not reach out to me, if I don't reach out to her, we won't talk. Where is it? Is a season? You know, people process things differently. I just find that very interesting. How people project into something that was never there. Then she said this after, not some of y'all trying to make me the villain. She may have something going on and I don't. I have a lot going on and still find time. There's more I should have put in my original tweet. Every special moment of her life I have shown up. Every moment of mine nowhere to be found. I've realized this isn't friendship. I battled postpartum depression twice. Couldn't even shower some days and yet still managed to check on my friends because I care. I am muting this thread now. So, to me, I find these conversations fascinating because as somebody who potentially would respond in a very similar way, and if I'm not mistaken, I think she was trained to be a therapist, but anyways, I find it interesting, people's responses. So when I think about friendships, I really believe friendships are based on several key components: reciprocity, intimacy, and consistency. That friendship. So the first question is, what is a friend, right? We use this friend word loosely, and I think that, let's be real, I don't go around telling people, hi associate, hey associate, hey associate. We say, hey friend, hey friend, hey friend. But we know who our real friends are, or we should. Not everyone does. Because of society and how society is made up, we don't have the same conversations we have with our partners that we have with our friends. So if you're in a relationship, you might go, what are we? What is this? There might be a, can you be my boyfriend? Can you be my girlfriend kind of conversation. That doesn't really happen with friends, except when you're 5 years old and you say, can I be your friend? It's kind of like you just become friends. Like there is no conversation and situation where it's like, can I be your friend? Can you be my friend? What is being your friend? What does that mean to you? What does being your friend mean to me? Let's set out our expectations there. Somebody might hear and go, oh, of course not. But that probably should happen because it would avoid situations like this. Because we pick up friends from school, from different activities, from church, from work, from different places, definitions are not really made properly. Like I know of, and I've been in and I've seen some work colleagues thinking that they are friends and they are not friends, and then offended when they realize that they are not as close to you as they think they are. And it's like, but why would you think we're close? Like, you're just a work colleague. Like, you're a good friend, work colleague, but outside of work, we ain't veterans like that. We ain't friends like that. We ain't homies like that. So, reciprocity, intimacy, and consistency. So this is how I see it. When I say reciprocity and mutuality, that comes with respect, is the way I see friendship, right, is I do you, you do me. And I'm not defining equal measure. So what I mean is, okay, when I used to drive, for example, if I'm always driving my friends around, right, there's a natural expectation that if the friends will pay for petrol, or they will do something in equal measure, but not necessarily quantity. So I'm not saying that I drove from Hackney to Croydon several times, and that's about £30 of petrol every time. So 4 people in my car, divide it by, I'm not saying that, right? And then calculate, I've done that over 6 months or 7 times or 10 times. Do you see what I mean? I'm not saying it in that situation. But if there was true reciprocity and mutuality of friendships in those situations, right? If I was the person in the car and you're driving me, I would be like, okay, do I contribute towards petrol or should I pay for their food? That's what you'd be thinking. And that, to me, should happen naturally, but it doesn't happen naturally. So that's where we really need conversations. And I'm being honest, because it's happened to me, where I used to drive out, I drove lots of people around, and at a point I used to get frustrated. I had to speak to a friend of mine about this and bring her to the awareness that, yo, I used to drive and y'all never felt to cover, like, because we know, if I wasn't driving, you'd be taking public transport and paying. So the public transport money that you should have either given it to me or paid for my own drink. And it's a weird thing, because it's not like I'm coming in going, I demand that. It's a thing that I am doing this because I want to drive us. Like, it makes sense. Let's just drive, right? But if I'm consistently driving and there's no reciprocity, so I am now driving, I'm covering drinks, I'm doing that. Yo, this relationship is not reciprocal. What is going on? So if you feel as a friend, you're constantly doing that. You're the person that drives everybody, makes sure everyone's good. If you're at a bar, I left my card, you cover it. You don't ask for the money back. But you find that you're doing that consistently. And this is where you realize that this is not reciprocal, when it's the other way round. When it is the other way round. Let's say, I don't know, you can't drive and one of them else has a car. Someone says, okay, I'm going to drive. And you say, cool. And you see everyone else paid them, and you think, why you pay? You don't pay me. Or that friend that always allows you to drive, when that person drives, can you pay part petrol? Girl, you ain't been paying my petrol. Or you go to the bar and you for some reason forget your card that day. You say, can you buy a drink? Yeah, it's cool. Next minute you get a text. The drink was £12.50. You can send that to my card. You send that to my bank. That's when you start to realize things ain't reciprocal. The person that you've been covering, now when it's their term, has remembered everything you owe them. A solid relationship is a situation where that occurs and happens without having to be asked. And sometimes it doesn't happen sometimes it happens without having conversations. But unfortunately, you don't always meet people where it happens like that. Sometimes you've got to lay down the law and say, look, in order for the relationship to be reciprocal, let's have a conversation. What does it look like to you? What does this mean to you? So, for example, for me, I don't count what I do for people. I don't. But if I know that you are not a person who, if, for example, we're going out and I pay your meal and it's come to £40, I'm not now going, we go to another, we go out and you pay 40. You might pay 20. Like for like, it's not about the amount. It's the fact that we went out, I only spent 10, you only spent 10, and you covered that meal. I'm not necessarily saying you owe me 20 quid now because the last venue, the last restaurant, I paid 40. I'm not saying that. It's not like for like in terms of amount. It's to do with the level of quality. The reciprocity is, you meet my need, I meet your need. I drive you around, you buy my drink. I drive you around, you buy my meal. I drive you around, you pay for the petrol. It's the fact that you cover my needs. Your need is that you need to get from A to B. I've got transportation to get you from A to B. My need is, as I have covered your transport, it might be nice that when I go to this venue, you buy my drink and you make sure that I'm good, so I ain't got to pay for my own drink. Maybe you spend more on the drink than you'd pay on petrol, but again, it's not the amount, it's just the idea that you are considering, Ngozi drove us there. Let me make sure that she's good for drinks. That's reciprocity. Intimacy is to do with the level of closeness, the level of connection, you have with a person. Right? Because we always think of intimacy as sexual, like the intimacy is important in friendship. Can you be intimate with a person can you sit with a person, you and that person, no music, no TV, and just be in each other's presence, or just talk for hours? That's intimacy, right? That has to be cultivated. It has to be cultivated. It might happen organically, but if you don't I've had friendships, and we've all had friendships that just fizzle out. We were once intimate. We were once had amazing conversation, and now we can't even say a sentence. It's like, hey, how are you? You good? Yeah. But this is a person that I could have spoken hours. I told you about a girl who I don't know what her reason for not wanting to be my friend, which is fine, right? But there was a point in time before she didn't come to my wedding and our relationship was done, that we couldn't speak on the phone. But there was a point in time we could have hours on the phone. There was a point in time I could be in her room and we would just talk and talk. But then there was a point in time there was no longer any intimacy. It became a bit frosty. And not because I had anything against it. I just felt uncomfortable in the conversation. Do you get what I mean? Then consistency. Consistency is so important. And then this is exactly what was said. Right? So the two examples that were given was that reciprocity wasn't there. She said that she always showed up for her friend didn't show up for her. No reciprocity. If she did not show up, if she did not message her friend, she could spend a whole year and the friend wouldn't get back to her. Second, there's no intimacy being cultivated. You can't cultivate intimacy on your own. It's got to be reciprocal. It's got to be both ways. It's got to be mutuality. There's got to be a level of conversation. What she would find is that her needs are not getting met. So when she sees her friend, checks up on her friend is feeling comforted and soothed. But what about you? How are you? How are you after you had a baby? What do you need? It's not simple. I had a baby, you have a baby. I come to you and I give you nappies. But when you come to me, you just come and sit down and then I feed you. That is lack of intimacy. Bruh, what's going on? You're not meeting my needs. Do you get what I mean? I just want to make sure I got intimacy correctly because I just don't want to... I could be using the wrong word. Yeah, togetherness, closeness, affinity. Yes, may get it right. Yeah, right? So, and then constancy is so important. The reason why a lot of relationships break down is lack of consistency. So again, in that same situation, she's consistently checking up on her friend. When she doesn't, she realizes her friend doesn't do the same to her. Now, the situation with the girl who had a birthday party and people did not feel the need to message her. Now, if you break down reciprocity, intimacy, and consistency, you have respect in that. There's a lack of respect there, right? Let's be very, very real. See, this is where I am not going to excuse behavior because I really think people want to pretend, or they want to lie, or they want to excuse their toxicity, they want to excuse their bad behavior, irresponsible behavior, or actually they want to excuse their traumatized behavior. Yes, because I've spoken to a lot of people, and a lot of people have trauma responses to communication. Some people, when they get a messages, they feel overwhelmed. That's not a normal response to a message. You shouldn't receive a message and feel overwhelmed, but if you do, that's what occurs. So when you are organising a birthday, a person that's organised birthdays that hasn't been in that situation, but has had situations where birthdays have occurred and you cut relationship off because of how certain things occur. That's why, look, I'm telling you, birthdays, weddings, you'll cut people off. Funerals, that's the time to cut people off. You see behaviors that you don't like. That's why sometimes I don't even put people in situations that I know that if you, I might cut you off. So let me not even put you in a situation where I know that I'll cut you off after I see your behavior. So it's to do with lack of value and respect. And let me be very honest, it's a very painful thing to realize is that not everybody values you. Not everybody values you the way you feel that you should be valued, or not everybody values you the way you value them. I think once you come to that realization, and it's a really painful one, it helps you in relationships. I have to come to realization that I might value somebody more than they value me. And it doesn't mean that I'm even closer to them. It doesn't even mean that I talk to them all the time. It just means I might value you more. So, for example, with me going to... And I've been bad. I've flopped an event. There's one event I can even think of that I flopped. That wasn't good. But I was at uni. I was coming from uni. And it was just... And that was before I even lived in Croydon. It was in Croydon. I was in uni and had uni the next day. It was So I did not attend, and I did flop, and I felt so bad. But I felt bad. Like, I felt the bad. I don't flop people and don't feel bad. I feel bad. So in a situation where you plan an intimate birthday, maybe you've invited 20 people max, yeah? I don't know the situation, but so you invite 20 people max, and maybe only 7 show up. So literally 13 don't show up, right? Again, I don't know how many people. I'm just giving an example based on what she said. And they don't even tell you that they're not coming. Now, there's a number of things happening. You could be the bad friend, because I don't know what's going on there. You could be the bad friend. You could just have chosen 13 bad friends. The 13 best friends that you invited, that you thought were close to you, did not respect or value enough to tell you what was going on. There is nothing, unless, God forbid, a big emergency occurs, that won't stop me to say and give you reason. Now, if it is your birthday, I probably won't want to send you a message, because I may not call you. So it's a flip in the toss. I don't know how I would say, but I would probably do an audio and say, girl, I need to make it up to you. That's me. It will be a heartwarming. It will be you're disappointed. So like, girl, I know you're vexed, bruv. You deserve to kill me, because for me, I will know how it feels. So I will be like, look, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. You do it in such a way where the person even feels bad. Like, it's okay. I forgive you. If the people don't do that, they don't care. Honestly, they don't care. They don't message you, reach out to you. They do not care. So the question is, you chose wrong in friends. These were not your friends. Now you know they are not your friends. 2, you were not the good friend yourself, because maybe they didn't want to come to your birthday. You got to put that in the equation. We got to realize that sometimes we are the bad friend. So when you're vexed at friends, you could be a bad friend. Then what's the third reason? Yeah, I think there's really 2. Either you just chose wrong in your friends, don't respect you, they don't value you, because I don't think it's an excusable thing. They're going through something. Look, I've lived long enough to know what people go through in life that allows them to message. Unless somebody dropped dead, God forbid, or something happened where you are not even thinking about a birthday, you got to call the hospital, you're trying to sort things out. Those are the situations where a person is not thinking about a birthday they're missing. Look, when I've been in a situation where, like, if you got a child and something calls you, your child, I am not going, I was meant to go to her birthday. I went to an event a couple of weeks ago, and a girl found out that her auntie just had cancer, and she still was able to call the organizer and say, I'm so sorry, I've just found out something about cancer, I need to be there. Now, maybe because it wasn't her immediate circle, where you just drop and you're in shock and you don't even think about the plans you had, it was still somebody close enough to her for her to drop everything, but she was able to say, I had a motive that I was going to, let me inform. Now, she wasn't on her way, actually, she was getting ready for the motive. So maybe in her mind, like, oh crap. But you could arguably say that's an excuse enough not to say anything, because your mind is frazzled. She even still, but she's an older woman, but she even still did do that. So I think it's a level of maturity to say, crap, I've got a thing. The same way at work. My husband's sick right now, right? Cut long story short, he's still going to go into work, right? But he might get sent back home. But he knows that it will look bad, because, anyways, we're meant to go on holiday, we're not on holiday, whatever, not to go into work. But he's aware of it, because he's constantly thinking, should I just not go in, should I go in? He's going to go in. But he's not going to just turn up at work and be at home, and then the boss goes, oh, where are you? Oh, I'm sick. Yeah? Unless you drop down on the floor, where you're not thinking about anybody, or you're in hospitalized, even he'll be like, call work, go into my phone. Do you see what I mean? Or why do you be thinking, babe, how do I call your work? How do I call your work? Or I should have his number. I need to actually get his work number. I should have his work number. That's to me, maturity. Maturity is, if I had an accident now, God forbid, right? I've got what you call an executor. That if something happens to me, my husband would inform my executor, and my executor would inform my clients, because my clients will be turning up to their session not knowing where I am. I have a responsibility, even in my sickness and even in my death, to ensure that all of my clients are informed that I am no longer present, I am no longer there, because they will not know what's going on, right? So as a professional, I have a responsibility to do that. As a human being, I think you have a responsibility to say, look, yo, I ain't coming. But even if you got a bummy excuse to say, yo, I ain't coming. If you don't even have that, you can either be embarrassed, you can be shamed, you can be guilt. You can be one of those things, you don't care. So, it goes back to my point of saying this. We need to have more conversations. I don't think right now, in 2023 now, moving on to 2023, we should not become friends with anybody that you don't have a conversation with, saying, okay, it seems like we're getting close right now. It might make it seem weird, but I'd rather make it seem weird to avoid situations like this going on. Have frank conversations about what is this friendship and what do you see it coming. Because you share certain things with me that I'm presumably saying that presumably you haven't shared with other people. We're getting quite close. How do you communicate? What is it? I've had to say that I've had to have this conversation with a couple of friends, because I'm very communicative with the people that I'm close to, because I know if I don't do that, I will truly withdraw. Like, my tendency is to withdraw, but I don't do that. I don't go into my tendency, because if I did that, that's a scary place to be. And I get other people are different. But for me, I do expect a response within 48 hours. That's not demand. I just expect a response. If you can't do that, then we don't have the same value in communication. We ain't got to be friends. So my response to anyone that says, oh, you're being demanding, I say, yeah, okay. If you think that is, I wear the t-shirt. And if I am being demanding and you can't take that, then we ain't got to be friends. It's just very simple. It's the same way when you talk about when you meet a partner and you say to a person, this is me, this is what I like. Oh, I can't do that. Okay, let's part ways. We should do that with friendships. So for the people that expect frequent communication, however you define frequency is up to you. For the person who expects reciprocity, intimacy, and consistency, if somebody can't give that to you, you ain't got to be friends with them. There are people who do not mind messaging on a Monday, responding on a Friday, and they're not offended. Be friends with those people. Have your communication where you speak to each other once a month, if that's what you want. But what the issue is, that doesn't happen. The people that have bad communication are friends with the people that have good communication and constantly clash. And then the people with bad communication will say, oh, you guys are demanding. Why are you so entitled much? And those that have good communication, like, bruv, it's not that difficult. I say hi, you say hey back. It really ain't that deep. So I really feel y'all should stay with y'all and y'all should stay with y'all. That's my personal opinion, because honestly, this debate is just sometimes crazy. I don't think what I'm saying is too demanding. I am asking you to message me at 11:01 when I message you at 10:59. I'm not asking you for that. But I'm asking you, if I message you on Monday, if you get back to me on Friday, I don't know what you were doing in those 4 days that you can't respond. And you are not the president of the United States or the Prime Minister. You ain't that busy, boo. You ain't that busy. So you can respond. It doesn't stop you saying, hey, how are you? Boom. Whatever it is that the conversation is. The level of excuses that you get for not responding, for me, tells me we can't be friends. So what I decide to do is go, cool. So I treat people the way they treat me in texting, messaging. If you message me on a Monday, if I message you on a Monday and get back to me on a Friday, I'll message you back the same following Friday. That's how I do it. Keep it simple. And if you're happy with that, then cool. Those that message back and forth, we have good, I'm not talking about that every minute, but we respond well. I respond well. If you don't respond well, I don't respond well. Now, of course, there's seasons. Some people are there's seasonal situations. There's seasons that I don't respond well. I am not perfect. I ain't gonna lie. But I know on average, I try to respond back. Right? I try to be reciprocal. Now, there probably are friends that don't think I'm reciprocal. I'm probably getting close. See, this is where I'm being consistent. If there's something that says, but Ngozi, you're not reciprocal to me, then I am not the friend that you need. I'm friendly to everybody, but I am not a friend to everyone. I think it's important to make that very clear. I am friendly to everybody, but I'm not a friend to everyone. You might be friendly to everybody, but are you a friend? You cannot have probably more than max. People even say 5 friends, 10 friends. I'll say 10. And even in the 10 friends, right, there'll be only maybe 5 or so that you're very close to, and then 5 that I say the inner circle, and then the outer circle, and then there's the outer circle, right? This is your tight friends, and then this might be the one straight after. And then, do you see what I mean? You have levels, you have different demarcations for different friendships. So you got to know, are you demanding frequent communication from people in your outer circle? Maybe you shouldn't. You should only be demanding that from those in your inner circle. So you should be having conversation with those in your inner circle to make it very clear, look, yo, this is what I want. Can you meet that? Where can we compromise? Compromising is not just for romantic relationships. They also work in friendships. I know that I cannot have everything that I want, but you cannot have everything that you want. We got to come to a compromise. If you want to maintain this friendship, let's come to a compromise. So I'm going to end it there because I am at the point where it's going to close. So interesting conversation. You're going to see me take this out. Public interviews. We're going to talk online relationships, like online friendships, relationship, everything from a therapist point of view. I'm going to ask. So you're going to find me in a town near you. No, you're just going to find me in London, mate. You're going to find me in London. So I shall see you soon. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Episode 20 we got here, and shall see you in the next video. Ooh. What an amazing show. If I may say so myself. Well, thank you for listening to the Ngozi Cadmus Show podcast. So, for all of you women of faith and all of you women who are listening week after week and resonate with what I'm talking about, feel lost, feel uncertain, know they're called for something greater, but they're currently stuck in what is comfortable. They're stuck in the familiar. And you honestly want to get out of that. You want to be all that God has created you to be. Sis, I got you covered. Yeah? I've got an amazing mentorship that I provide to women of faith like yourself to help them level up, essentially equip them with the skills that they need to fulfill their assignment on earth and to shift their mindset, have a complete metanoia, have a complete transformation. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, click the link on the website and follow the instructions, and I can't wait to see you in the community. So like, share, subscribe. That's YouTube. But for the podcast lovers, download it, share it, tweet it, review it, all of that good stuff, and I shall see you in the next podcast.